he didn't contest it. He didn't say, no, I'm not threatening you with a gun. He was,
I'm listening. I'm listening to you.
Sorry, what?
I'm listening. So yeah, he said, I'm not the one threatening people with a gun, and he said, yeah.
I said I'm not the one threatening people with a gun.
And he said,
yeah.
He said, yeah. And then did you guys talk about the gun anymore? At one point, did he pick it up?
He picked it up right after he threatened me initially.
What was the initial threat?
Basically, it was, I don't exactly remember that, but I know that he threatened that some vague thing, and ultimately then he picked it up and put it in his room.
Okay, so when you
came back to the conversation.
So when you said the part about I'm not the one threatening people with a gun, at that point he had put it away?
Yeah.
Okay. So he had it out at first. You guys, he picked it up, put it in his room, and then later you said, I'm not the one threatening people with a gun. He said, yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Because he was still yelling at me. He did go to his room and put the gun back.
Have you ever seen this gun before?
No, I didn't even know he had a gun.
Right. I don't know, man. We're just trying to figure out exactly what level of charges we have. You know what I mean? That affects the way we handle this call. So the way we approach the house, do things like that, it's what I'm trying to find out how far these threats went and things like that. It may be more of a harassment thing, or it could fall into like felony, what we call menacing. All right. So that's why I'm asking so many questions about the part with the gun, because the fact that a gun's out and someone's being an asshole is one thing, and I understand why that's troubling. In order, like, for the felony menacing would be like he's basically like the things he's doing, you're like, this person's gonna shoot like right now. You know what I mean?
I am concerned he's gonna shoot me. He believes all sorts of crazy things.
Like what?
Like I said, like the idea that I'm a man just because I'm transgender. And he also believes on all sorts of crazy petty things, like the idea that I haven't paid my share of utilities, despite the fact that I have receipts and shit. And this guy's obviously not a stable guy.
Mm. All right. Do you have an ID with you?
Absolutely, I showed him.
Yeah, I should write down your. Do you guys have? Can we use their voluntary statements, or does it have to be ours?
Doesn't matter, yeah.
Yeah. Do you mind grabbing one? Thanks.
Do you have Cody's phone number?
I don't.
So did you drive down here?
No, I walked.
Okay. How did it eventually end? I mean, was he still just yelling and you walked out, or did it kind of slow down?
Ultimately, I walked away because ultimately I knew I had to get the fuck out of there.
Right.
But I wanted to make sure that it didn't seem like I was going to the police.
Okay.
Because I didn't want it to escalate any further, because I want to still be alive.
Yeah. What, and was his girlfriend around with this going on?
Yes.
What was she saying?
I don't remember.
I mean, she wasn't like, my God, stop,
No,
put the gun away.
She wasn't admonishing Cody at all.
I think I have your number in the call. What's your good phone number for you?
I'm not 100% sure this is a new number, but I think it's 970. Actually, let me get into the phone and let me make 100% sure I'm getting the right number.
I don't know if we had the Frank. Huh? Oh, they have it. Oh, they missed me.
There's a misdemeanor and a transaction, so.
What is the question?
Whenever you're ready.
Okay, just a minute.
When the argument started, is that what I gathered?
Yeah, they start talking in the kitchen, it's there. And he picks it up and puts it away. And then at some point she says, are you threatening? I'm not the one threatening people with a gun. He said, yeah. I definitely don't think it's the F5.
No, I don't see it.
And or is it? Do you think it's even enough of the M3?
No, because he wasn't doing anything with it in a manner that even threatened.
So just, I think just based on the, maybe we have a harassment.
Sure.
Without his side of the story still.
Right.
So, let's see what does she
Thank
want?
you.
What does she want done here?
Did you update them that we don't have the? Okay, thanks. Because I had to finally take my fucking earphone. Okay, I'm ready.
970-481-5672.
Okay. How do you say, is it Veronique? Is that right?
Monique.
Veronique? Okay.
Like Monique, but you're gonna say Veronica, but you stop at it.
Okay. So, obviously, you know, with something like this, we're not there when this happens. We have to contact him and, you know, see what his side of the story is. What are you looking for here? Are you hoping that we can work out, you know, take him to jail, or do you want to, you know, are you just, you were afraid you had to get out? What exactly are you looking
Well,
for?
the primary goal, primary objective why I'm here is because I need to get out, and I figured if I'm surrounded with cops who know who this guy is and know the situation, and rather know that I'm in danger, then we can talk about other options, but I'm still kind of freaking out.
Right.
But if you're talking about pressing charges, then absolutely.
Right.
This guy threatened me with a gun.
Well, I mean, like I said earlier, there was a gun there. It sounds to me like, unless I'm missing some of the story, the gun wasn't even mentioned until you said.
It was in plain view.
I understand that, but I mean, there's 3 guns in plain view in this room right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you're cops.
I know.
There's context.
Well, no, and you could articulate, well, I think he did that to make me feel intimidated or something like that. But he could say, yeah, I had the gun out, we started arguing, I picked it up and put it away in my room. You know what I mean? So this is where it's tough as far as, you know, actually going and taking someone's freedom and charging them with felony crimes and things like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but ultimately, considering the tone of the conversation and the fact that he had the gun there when it's not normally, well, I've never even seen the bloody thing before.
Mm-hmm. Right. I understand that, but I'm just trying to say to you that from what I understand about the story, I don't have the felony crime that I originally thought. Okay? So, doesn't mean that there wasn't maybe possibly some harassment committed, things like that. But as far as threatening you with the gun, I don't, from what I know about this half the story, I don't have that yet. You know what I mean?
But the gun was there.
I don't understand that. But the fact that the gun's there and he's being an ass doesn't mean he's threatening you with the gun.
He made it clear that he was planning to do something with that gun to me.
Now, how, but explain
Can you
that.
re-explain that? Because
That's what we're trying to
understand.
get.
We don't understand it as that it was a threat. In terms of that, you made a comment about the gun after the gun had been put away,
Yeah,
and then he just made a statement that was kind of
Yeah,
just
but he
wishy-washy. But
yeah, but he said if I don't do something, he would. Then he gestured to the gun.
maybe I could have missed that part. So explain that part of the story to us again, please.
Basically, whenever I first came up the stairs
Okay.
into the kitchen, he had the gun there. He told me quite clearly, well, maybe not so clear considering I don't remember what the other thing was, but he said if I did X again, he would, then he gestured to the gun that was right there. And after that, he put it away.
Okay, so if you did what?
I don't know, that's why I said X.
Okay.
Because I don't know that's why I said X.
What was going on before that? So were you guys having some kind of argument before that, or what was going on?
No, that's how it initiated.
Okay. So why do you think this initiated like that? We don't know you guys at all.
Because the guy's crazy. He threatens people. He yells all the time. He tries to claim that I'm a man. He says I did things that I never did. Minor crap. This guy's loony.
Okay. So, but for today, so you come into the room and he has a gun out, it's
Yeah.
sitting on the table, and unprovoked, he tells you if you don't do if you do something again, whatever that is, we don't know what it was,
Yeah, that's
and then he points to the gun.
And that's how it was initiated, apart from the banging on the door meeting. I mean, I didn't even say a word until that happened.
Okay. I'm just trying to understand the whole context of the story here.
Because if he has no, I mean, if he's just a guest at this place, what's this? I'm calling a meeting. How does he have any?
I don't know.
I don't understand the dynamic over there.
Other than them being Molly's boyfriend, I don't know.
He's been living there long enough that that's address is on his driver's license. That's true, but how long has he been living there?
Well, I know he was there before I got there. I mean,
Okay.
Whenever I was looking for roommates, he was part of the initial discussion.
Okay. All right, so that's his place too then.
Okay. So part of him yelling all that is he doesn't think you've been paying your part of the utilities and things like that, right?
Well, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, ultimately, he thinks that he started making all sorts of transphobic slurs. He threatened me with a gun. I mean, is that how people collect utilities in this country? With a gun?
Well, I mean, the gun thing's tough because when a gun is involved, obviously everyone gets all spun up. Of course, you got every cop in town is over there watching this. You know what I mean? When you talk about people getting threatened with guns, and that's why I'm saying to you, your story's tough because yes, I understand there was a gun there. You know what I mean?
Yes, I was being threatened with a gun.
Well, you were being
threatened with a gun.
well, okay. I don't know if I could get a jury to agree with that.
Why? He was threatening me with a gun.
He was saying things to you, and then you said, "Are you threatening?" I'm not the one that threatens people with a gun. He said, "Yeah." If he said to you, I don't know, you're not paying your part of the utilities, and if you don't start paying, I'm going to shoot you, or I something like that. The fact that it was there, and then he got put away pretty quick, I think. And then later you
The fact
asked,
that it was there to begin with.
yeah, but see, that's actually not. I mean, some people just by seeing a gun have a very strong reaction to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why he threatened me with it.
Well, I'm just saying that the reason I'm explaining this is because right now, we're going to do all we can to take a report for you and get your side of the story, get his side of the story. But right now, based on this, I can't just march over there and take him in handcuffs and take him to jail.
Why not? He threatened me with a gun.
Well, because of the details of how you think that happened.
How I know it happened. He threatened me with a gun.
I think there's parts maybe I'm missing or something.
Can we go through today's incident again for us? And part of it could be because of your emotional state for what you've dealt with today.
It has nothing to do with my goddamn emotional state.
Okay.
He threatened me with a gun. Is that not understandable why I would be freaked the hell out?
We can understand why you would be freaked out, but what is not coming across to us is where the threat was. That's why
threatened me with a gun. He had a gun right in plain view where it isn't normally. He made it clear that if I didn't do something, he would do something with that gun to me.
Okay. That's why I just asked you if we can go back through the statement of events here. Because in his home, in his own home, he can have his gun sitting out wherever he wants.
Yeah, but can he threaten people with it?
That's why we're trying to ask you to retell the story so that we can understand the entire events here. Okay? The reason why I said there's some emotions involved is because we're not understanding your side of the story right now. We're trying to. We're sitting here trying to understand why you're saying there's a threat here, and we're not seeing the same thing that you're trying to tell us. It's not coming across. And so I would like for you to help us out so we can understand where you're coming from. Okay? If we're going to charge someone criminally, we have to have probable cause for an arrest. Okay?
The fact that he threatened me with a gun is a probable cause?
You just saying over and over again, he threatened me.
And how he threatened me, and...
So retell us that story so that we can understand, please.
Basically, I was lying in bed, and he pounded on my door and said one word, meeting. So ultimately, I got up, and I went into the kitchen, and where, ultimately, that's a common area, so I figured that's where the meeting would be held. Ultimately, he had his gun laid out in plain view. He made it clear that if I didn't do X, then he would do something to me with that gun.
How did he make that clear to you?
He said it.
Okay, so what did he say to you?
He said, if you don't do X, I'm going to threaten with you. I'm going to do something with this gun.
Okay. He says he's going to do something with the gun?
I don't know. He didn't. I don't know why. I'm kind of freaked out that at the moment.
I understand, we're
Not to
trying
mention,
understand.
you keep telling me that that he didn't threaten me. He had the fucking gun out.
We're trying to help you, ma'am, but we have to understand how it happened.
I've told you a million times.
The mere presence of the gun, right?
And the fact that he threatened me with it.
I have asked you a couple times, how did he threaten you?
And I told you a million times. He made it clear that if I don't do X, he's going to do something to me with that gun. I don't know if he's going to shoot me with it. I don't know if he's going to beat me over the head with it. But he made it clear he was going to do something to me with that gun.
So, what did he say?
I told you what he said. How many more times do I have to tell you until you finally take it seriously?
Ma'am, we're sitting here, we have people surrounding your house right now, looking to see if he comes out, to see if we can continue the investigation. We're asking you the questions so that we can understand what's going on. So the first time that I asked you, you said he pointed, and you didn't mention that he had said anything to the gun. This time you're saying that he said something similar to this. I'm trying to understand what he said, because the mere presence of a gun in somebody's home.
But the fact that he threatened me with it is a bit more than him just displaying it wherever he
I
pleases.
understand that, but you see where I'm having the problem here is that in the 2 times that I've asked you to tell that part of the story, you told it the first time as he was motioning towards the gun with his hand, and the second time you told me that
was part of it, yes.
Wait, so explain it to us so we can understand here.
I told you a million times, I'll tell you it again.
Please.
Ultimately, whenever I came into the kitchen,
Okay.
he told me quite clearly, yelling, saying that if I didn't do X, he would do something to me with that gun.
Okay. And then what was he doing?
And he was motioning it to me as he was saying it.
Okay. And how did you interpret that?
As a threat, obviously.
Okay. I have to ask sometimes we have to ask obvious questions. Okay. So what type of threat did you think that was?
I thought he was going to shoot me.
Okay. Over whatever X was, which
Yeah.
you don't remember what that was. Okay. And then what happened after that?
Ultimately, he put the gun away, and then
So I don't want ultimately right now. I want to know what happened.
immediately after
yes.
that, he put the gun away and then came back in the room and kept yelling at me.
Okay, so he makes a threat with the gun, points to it, says that if you don't do something, he's going to do something with the gun, points to the gun. What was your response to him?
Ultimately, I was trying to calm the situation down. I wasn't yelling, obviously.
Okay, so, and I realize it's frustrating for you to be telling us the story over and over again, but we're trying to understand the sequence of events. So when you say ultimately, later on this happened, I'm trying to understand the sequence of events. He says, I'm going to do something with this gun right here. What do you say to him? Do you say anything to him? What is your reaction?
I didn't say anything to him immediately while he had the gun out, because obviously I didn't want him to do or say anything to have him pick it up and shoot me with it.
Okay, so but then he does pick it up, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And so what is your reaction when he picks up the gun?
I'm thinking, how fast can I run to get the fuck out of here?
Okay, and then what does he do with the gun?
He puts it, he takes it and puts it in his room.
Okay, so he leaves and puts it in his room. Does he make any threats to you when he picks up the gun?
No.
Does he point it at you or do anything like that? Does he say anything to you?
It was, other than it being laid down, pointed at me, no.
Okay, so then he goes and puts it away in the room,
Yes.
and then what happens at that point?
Then he comes back and starts yelling at me more.
Okay, and so what are you guys yelling about? What is he yelling about?
All sorts of things. He starts claiming that I'm really a man, that ultimately that if I were a better person, I'd be a better person if I grew my dick back. He then starts in on his conspiracy theories, claiming I had to pay the utilities and the state of common areas and things like that. And ultimately,
279 Frank 276, were you trying to get hold of me? Yeah, we're still working. I definitely don't think we have the Frank here. Yeah, that's the best we can do for now. And if that other female's there, we can get her statement too. Do we have a number for Molly?
I don't.
No number for Molly over here.
And then so you came here. You talk to anybody else on the way out, or
No.
did he say anything when you were leaving, or?
No, I made 100% sure to just get the hell out and try to get to the police as soon as it was safe.
Okay, that's fair. If I jump back a little bit, so when he points to the gun and says that he's going to do something to you if you don't do X, why don't you leave at that point?
Because I didn't want him to think I was going to the police and grab his gun and shoot me. I
Right.
wanted to make 100% sure that he just thought I was leaving for the day, and
Okay, so when he puts the gun away and then comes back without a gun and starts the conversation, yelling or not, but starts the conversation, how come you stay to have the conversation at that point?
because I didn't want to have any sudden moves, I wanted to make sure that no matter what, that I was going to live through this.
Okay, even though he had put the firearm away,
Yes.
you still had this fear that...
Because I was threatened with a gun.
No, I understand that. Like as I said earlier, I have to ask very obvious questions at some point because I can't assume your answers to things. That's not how our life works.
Well,
I can't assume how you feel about anything.
as tempting as it is to run away whenever the gun was presented, my objective is to try to live.
Okay, that's fair. I'm not judging any part of it, but I have to understand, which is why I have to ask the questions. And sometimes they're silly and obvious questions.
Yeah, I want to be featured in the newspaper for doing something good, not for being gunned down by a madman.
Okay. So you guys go through the conversation, and then it just gets to a point where you're like, okay, I've had enough, and I'm going to leave. So what made you feel safe at that point in the conversation to walk out and leave?
Ultimately, that the conversation was long enough that ultimately I could leave without arousing suspicion.
Okay. Is there anything else that you can think of that we haven't clarified just yet before we have to go back and chat with the other guys that are over there real quick?
Are you aware that he threatened me with a gun? Because y'all were saying that y'all were trying to claim that he didn't threaten me with a gun.
We're not claiming anything. What we're trying to explain to you is that we didn't understand where the threat came from for you. Mm-hmm. As I explained the first, and I asked you 2 times. The first time it was emotion towards the gun. The second time it was some kind of verbal towards it.
Because it was both.
Okay. You have to understand from our perspective. We're asking you a story, and I know that it's a hard circumstance for you. But if we don't understand what's happening, then we can't help you.
Well,
right?
Do you understand now?
I think we understand at least your statement and the side of it, so that at least we can move on with the investigation and figure out what's going on the other half of this. Okay?
Okay.
So, give me just a minute here.
Oh, yeah, case number 2.
Oh, just go and pull one from there.
376, I got your case number.
Good enough for the second. We can go over it outside real quick.
Yeah.
Do you want to keep calling that out?
We'll be right back in.
Yeah, sure.
I'll put the whole stopper there.
Thanks. Hey, buddy. No, and you can't find a match on her either. She doesn't show up as at that address as well in TLO or anything else that I've researched so far. Not as an associate. Let me double check though, quick. present during the altercation, whatever happened. She was present.
Yeah, it didn't, but didn't say or do anything.
I was just trying to make sure I understand her.
She said, yeah, she didn't admonish him at all.
I heard that part. I couldn't understand where she might have been in the grand scheme.
He could have a fucking super soaker in there for all we know. It's probably one of those like pressure washer handles.
We're actually, I believe, are you off of Scott Street right now?
Scott Avenue.
Okay. Well, would you mind popping out and talking to us? And we'd eventually like to Cody too. All right. Perfect. Well. Yeah, sure. Do you want me to stay on the phone with you and give you a minute?
Channel 3.
Yeah.
It's communications. Just
If you don't mind, or I can call you back in a minute. Okay, sure. Yep, no problem. Bye. 256. So Molly is going to get dressed real quick and then come out and talk to us. I'm going to call her, give her about 3 minutes to get dressed and call her, and then give her further instructions. So we're good with her just coming out, and we're going to do a pat on him. Yes, we are going to do a pat on him.
On him, but not her.
Yeah.
Are you guys going in?
Yeah.
All right.
So that's just out on the back porch drive.
Yeah. So I think they're probably trying to hide the gun. What's that? All right. So if you want to get Cody and you're good getting Molly.
Yeah, this one's a row.
Are they going to come out together?
No, but we'll have to have somebody stay with Molly when we have Cody come out.
You have a place you want to call it?
What's that?
Where do you want it?
I think as soon as we separate them. Yeah, just on like the other side of that car.
Do you have any reason to put in handcuffs?
What do you guys think?
I think it's behavior based. He's coming out compliant and things like that. Because ultimately was the belief here is that he had his gun out for some reason and they had an argument over bills. And before they even had the argument, he put the gun away.
Yeah, basically.
That's the belief.
Okay.
From her statement.
I just don't want to go with an automatic handcuff.
Yeah.
When we don't have a reason.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to.
I think the extent of what our plan is just to pat him.
Great, and I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna make that call. Everybody's good.
I've seen it. I was going to have Will hide over there because he can get in between the bushes, but I didn't want to see that.
That's why we moved away.
If you guys just come up towards Olive, and if Molly, if you don't mind coming first, does it?
Yeah, I was gonna come first separately.
Okay, perfect. And Cody knows what's going on.
Yep, yeah, I just let him know that you're here and that you're gonna talk to him afterwards.
Okay, perfect. All right, awesome.
But,
Thank you.
Yes, yeah, I will be right out.
Okay. Molly's
Sorry,
coming
are
up
you
first.
still there?
Yes.
Oh,
Paul, which way do you want her coming?
Yeah.
Yeah, Molly, you can come right in front of the minivan through your neighbor's yard, and we'll be okay catching you there.
Sorry, hold on just 1 second. My rabbit is being really weird. Hold on 1 second.
I don't think I've ever heard that before.
Sorry? Yeah, well, I mean, it might get overlapped if we do her and him at the same time.
Okay.
Because he's going to come out like,
I'm sure he's gonna come out pretty quickly, but
yeah, so I would
it'd be
think,
nice to interview both, but we have a lot of resources that we can utilize.
yeah.
So, in terms of talking to somebody, he's probably more.
Yeah, I'd rather interview
Pick one.
him if I had to pick one.
Sorry, what?
Does Cody have a phone?
Have a phone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
This is not our house, by the way.
Okay. Yeah.
Just so you know, we're at 306.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. If you don't mind just hanging out. Do you know what his phone number is?
Yes.
And I'll give him a call and I'll come out to you.
Okay. Oh, I had told him to not come out with me, but.
Yeah, that's perfect. That actually makes it easier.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to move her down over here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just grab that. Yeah. Once we get that number.
512
Okay. 512.
680 3733.
All right. Perfect. Yeah. And if you don't mind just hanging out in front of that patrol car.
Where are we gonna chat with him at? They're gonna move over there. I mean, we're fine over here once we're just a little side door.
Kind of flustered right now.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going on.
Well, really, we're just looking to talk to you. And the gist of it is we heard there was something happened at your house involving them. And what we're doing right now is we're just taking steps to make sure that everybody's safe, and then we want to talk about what happened. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, awesome. So, did you see which way Molly came out?
Front door.
Yeah. So if you go out the front door and come down past the pine tree, you'll see us in your neighbor's yard. And basically, I don't want any surprises for you. But really quick, is there anybody else in the house?
Oh, in the house?
Yeah.
I don't think so, besides maybe Leslie or
Okay. Would you mind sending or calling Leslie down or out? Basically, we're gonna bring you out.
He's outside.
Oh, are you here? Or if you're outside already, just go ahead and
Look to your right.
head our way.
Tell him to look to his right.
So look to your right and
Behind.
and head our direction. And so you'll walk basically towards Olive and Scott.
We got eyes.
His hands are.
Up.
All right, perfect. And then we'll give you instructions from there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. All right, man. Hey, can I hold on your phone for a minute? I just need to make sure you don't have any weapons on you, okay?
I don't.
Can you turn around and put your hands on the back of your head? Just interlace them. Thanks. And just do like this, push your feet a little bit for me. Yeah. Just make sure you don't have any guns and you have any knives or anything like that?
No, just my keys and my wallet.
All right. All right, man, you can relax. He's got your phone. You can relax.
There you go. Thank you.
Just come on over here. Stay in the shade a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm Officer Swales. The reason we're here is whatever happened earlier today between you and... What's her name?
Oh, Veronique, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So can you tell me what happened between you guys?
So this morning, we've been having a lot of issues with this woman a lot lately. On not paying bills and being generally nasty and upfront about stealing our things and sneaking out in the middle of the night and not locking the door at like 3 a.m. So after about 4 months of this, I'm like, hey, you know, there is a gun in the basement. I mean, you could get shot not addressing coming into the front door that I sleep 30 feet from at 4 in the morning. Could you give us a heads up? Can you not be this weird and sneaky like this?
Oh, so you're saying that if I don't know you're coming in at 4 in the morning, you might end up getting shot, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's kind of crazy. And she's saying that I'm crazy because I believe some crazy stuff about being a con man on the internet, which, to be honest with you, I kind of do believe she's a con man.
Okay.
But I kind of indirectly threatened her, saying that if can you at least let us know? Can you try to be upfront about the whole coming in at almost 4 in the morning?
Is that part of like the lease that you can't come and go when you please, or what?
No, it's just that, can you give me a heads up?
Oh, so you don't think you're getting burglarized or something?
Yeah.
Now,
we're dead cold asleep.
does she stay in the basement?
No, she stays upstairs with us, and she uses the side door on this side of the brick. There's like a door that's 20 feet from her room.
Uh-huh.
Another part of the argument was, can you use that door instead of the front door? Because I'm a vet, and getting waken up by the handle jiggling at 4 in the morning kind of fucking sets my nerves on order. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
All right. How many guns do you have?
I don't have any.
Who's got the gun in the basement?
I don't know.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Well, you said, I told her there's a gun in the basement.
There is a gun in the basement.
But you don't know whose it is?
Yeah, it's also not loaded.
Well, I get that, but wait, whose gun is in the basement?
To be honest.
There's just a gun laying in the basement.
Yeah. I assumed it was one of Molly's fucking old roommates.
What kind of gun is it? I mean, you're a vet, right?
Yeah, it's a rifle, maybe like a hunting rifle or an assault rifle. There's a, I don't, and it's Chinese or some shit. It's not American made or German.
SKS or something. I mean, who stays in the basement?
Leslie, our downstairs neighbor.
Is she the only one that stays down there? Is it
Yeah.
like her own apartment or something?
Yeah, but we all share the basement, like downstairs, like the.
Oh, it's a common area.
Yeah, it's everyone's storage spaces
Where's that gun right now?
in the basement.
And then, so why was it? It was in the kitchen earlier or something.
Yeah,
What was that about?
to tell her like, hey, there is a gun in the house. Can we set this in order? Like, wait,
Okay.
you could get shot just sneaking back into the house at 4 in the morning.
Right. What'd she say to that?
That I'm crazy.
And then what happened?
Then she left.
Okay. And what'd you do with the gun after that?
Put it back in the basement.
So you got it out of the basement to let her know, hey, this is real. It might happen,
Well, this is the first time it's come up.
Oh. So we don't know whose gun this is?
I don't.
Does Molly?
I hope so.
Where is it normally in the basement?
Downstairs in the basement, there's like this little rack of like, I don't know, fucking
Like
shells, and then
Oh.
down on the right, leaning against the wall, it's just there.
It's just been there?
It's old. It looks fucking rusted. No one takes care of it.
Oh. And there's no ammunition or anything like that for it?
Yeah, I checked it. The magazine's empty. I don't even see one downstairs.
Huh. All right. But if that's a common area, maybe we can get a consent and just make sure it's not something wrong with the gun. Well, so how do you say her name again?
My name's Cody.
No, the girl, the guy, the con man.
Veronique.
Okay, so Veronique, I think, took this as whatever you guys were talking about being a bad roommate or whatever she is, coming in at all hours, felt like you were threatening her more. Like, I'm going to shoot you because you're coming in late or whatever. Can you understand how she took it that way when you said, look, you're going to get shot coming in at 4 in the morning?
I can understand how she would spin it this way.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying I don't know if she's spinning it or not. I'm saying that's what
Right.
she's communicating to us.
No, as soon as you started calling Molly out, I knew what happened.
Yeah.
Because this lady has been known to do fucked up things, like lie to people. Her bank account's always fucking bouncing. She has, I'm not kidding, she has an entire website devoted to her. She ran for office once on false things. She says she's a vet. she's got a doctorate from Oxford. All these crazy things about this woman, like reeks of like lying and cheating.
Okay.
Like I,
Yeah, no, I understand all that, but do you think? Because some people are afraid of guns, right?
yeah.
So I mean, it's probably a bad idea to get the gun out and say, "Look, that's the gun I'm talking about that you're gonna you get shot with at 4 a.m. when you come in and don't let us know you're coming." I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, at least we got to learn that's a bad idea.
Agreed.
A lot of people see a gun and they really feel like, even though no one's near it, it's going to shoot them somehow. You know what I mean?
I do.
So
I understand the gravity of the situation.
yeah. So I mean, it's Colorado. People have guns.
Right
Oh.
now, she's been trying to tell us that she's going to take us to court because we turned off our internet to her because she refuses to pay even any of her bills.
I mean, you thought about evicting her or anything?
I'm trying to right now.
Yeah.
But our landlord says we can't do anything as long as the bills are paid. But I'm paying all the Veronique's bills right now. So she's just lashing out at me literally because I turned off or switched the Wi-Fi password.
How did this whole conversation start this morning?
This morning, I banged on the door and I asked her, hey, can you come out here so we can talk?
Uh-huh.
And then the conversation started with, okay, again, we need to talk about this whole sneaking into the front door at 4 a.m. thing, then rummaging around the basement also at 4 a.m. She removed all of my clothes to do like laundry, but she has a bunch of boxes down there. Apparently she was getting some shit. I don't know. And then it moved into, well, if you can't at least take us to court for all the things you say that we owe you, like the pain and suffering for not paying your bill, or for us yelling at you for not paying the bills, telling you we're going to turn off our internet. And then it moved into, look, I don't care what your problems are, you have to pay your bills or we have nothing to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And then she just stormed out. But she said, I do pay my bills. No, you don't. I've been paying your bills for the last 4 months. And she says, yes, but I reimburse you. I said, that's okay for maybe the first couple of times. But now I have to yell at you like a child because I have no leverage on you besides my internet password.
Right. And you don't feel like the gun could have been misconstrued as more leverage?
I absolutely do now.
Yeah.
Things got emotionally distorted this morning and out of hand, and I understand right now that I should absolutely not have just talked about, hey, maybe you can get shot for doing some of the dumb things that you're doing.
Right.
What was your intent in bringing the gun out and having it out for her to see?
She didn't. She said at first she didn't. I wouldn't do something like that. I said, well, it might be a continuing issue like this. Like,
Sure. Wait, what?
What was your intent? Why did you bring that gun? This gun sits in the corner, it's rusted, doesn't look like anybody takes care of it in the basement, but you moved it from the basement and put it in an area that you knew she was coming to talk to you at. Why were we doing that?
I guess to threaten her, to drive the point home, like, what you're doing is stupid.
And I get it, you're just getting emotional over everything that's going on and it's built up. But my partner's right, that's not a very good outlet.
I agree.
But okay.
And if she wants to like press charges on me for like the threatening thing, I'm gonna have to eat that way. Because I indirectly threatened her that way. But I'm sorry, this woman has literally been stealing money from me this way and is now trying to blame everyone but me. I mean, not everyone but her on this ridiculously fucked up situation that me and Molly are both now in. She lost her job recently. I have to pay her side of the bills, and now
I could see the frustration, on you when you're just talking. But we weren't here, so we're just trying to understand it all. So you bring it up from the basement. It sits there rusted. Nobody takes care of it. You bring it up from the basement just to kind of scare her while having this conversation about bills. Do you make any mention besides just the presence of it? Our partner's saying guns are scary for some people, but besides it sitting there, are you mentioning anything about this thing? make a statement that
At that moment, I did mention, like, hey, there is a gun in the house. You can get shot for this. Can you maybe reconsider?
okay.
And you're talking about coming in late, or you're talking about not paying bills.
No, just the coming in late thing.
Right.
We've been dealing with the not paying bills thing forever, and I promise you that I absolutely didn't tell her, hey, you're not going to pay your bills, I'm going to shoot you.
Yeah.
Alright.
Can I talk for a second?
Yeah.
Do you mind hanging out there for a minute?
Yeah, that was all I had said about it. I had mostly just listened to her about all the other stuff. We weren't really like talking about the gun. We were more so bringing up like all of the repeated issues and like when
Yeah, that's just always been there.
like are you going to be able to pay the bill money?
Yeah. Okay, I got you.
She yeah. You know, she asked if like to not yell, and I told her, no, I am going to yell. That's ridiculous. And now, like, my financial well-being, all of that is, like, tricky because you're just choosing to not pay anything and use everything.
Right.
When, like, and yeah, so, and then I just, yeah.
How did the conversation end?
Well, she has been threatening to take us to court. And so, we have said, I said,
Do you have
last night about like
consent to
strategy for like,
cards or
you know,
sheets?
she actually
I'm sorry, what now?
Consent to search? Do you have those?
internet password
Maybe.
leverage sort of things. And did that a few days ago, but anyway, and so yeah, take it to see how we would win whatsoever. But
I don't think we need the schools still on lockdown, do we?
Are they still? I don't know.
I don't know either.
I didn't look at that, so
Me neither.
I guess maybe it was kind of enough. So hopefully you can build some of that.
Okay.
well, probably just when you're yelling, I guess. I don't know. She doesn't show a lot of reactionary expression, I guess, most of the time. So it's hard to tell. But I mean, I
So let me just summarize real quick and you can tell me if I've got it right or wrong. Okay, so you guys got in an argument earlier on about finances and about her inconsistently locking the door and then jiggling the door handle in the middle of the night. You have prior trauma from experiences that you've had with unlocked doors, so you take it very seriously, and so does your boyfriend, as out of respect for you. She's constantly disregarding that and not keeping up with her boys.
along with everything else, but even to the degree of like maybe having to clean pieces off their
Right. So she's basically being a horrible roommate. And to hammer home the point that you take something very seriously, Cody goes back to the bedroom and grabs the gun that does it work?
no.
Okay. So grabs the non-functioning visual display gun and sets it down on the counter and is basically indicating that you take safety so seriously that you have one of these. And he never points it at anyone.
No.
He just sets it on the counter and then removes it later during a conversation. And you guys continue to... Okay. And then you guys continue to yell at each other. She eventually says something about she's going to sue you, and you say go ahead. And you go to your way, and she...
Well, she had said the taking us to court like
Okay.
days prior, like multiple days, or like multiple occasions prior, and so that was why she didn't freshly say that this time. I just said,
Okay.
you know, if you are planning that, like, good luck.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. I think that's the gist that I got from you. Is that accurate? Am I missing anything specific? Any details that you want me to include that I didn't?
No, that's
Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay. Let me talk to my partners real quick and...
okay.
Later. No, we'll go over it later.
Huh?
We'll go over it later.
Oh.
Oh no.
Okay. So...
Blue.
Hmm?
We can discuss the case.
That summary was more so you guys could
Colorado so much, I figured I'd go to college up here.
Did you finish?
Oh, I'm still going to college.
Oh, I guess.
The old GI Bill.
Nothing wrong with that. So instead of doing that, I went to a bunch of different colleges and never finished.
Word.
Well, I should have done military instead, but it's all right.
I'm thinking this whole shit. There's a lot of shit I should have thought about when it was happening. I don't even know.
Right.
I don't even. So it's not loaded. Yeah, it's not loaded.
Well, yeah, you may know that, but what's her name doesn't know that.
I don't feel like what I did was illegal.
I understand that.
And I really didn't threaten that woman. But
Well, I mean, she does want charges pressed. Look, there's a reason this is like the pace it's going at right now, okay? There's a reason we didn't roll up with a SWAT team and drag you out of the house, because the story is what it is, you know what I mean? Now, do I think you ever pointed the gun at? No. Do I think? No. The problem is, we've been looking through Colorado revised statutes over this. It's what's called menacing here, okay? That's what they call it. It's called menacing.
oh shit.
So, you have
There is a law about this.
Yeah, but you got to look at it. So it's like, well, if I walk up to you and I'm like, I just straight point a gun at you, okay, that's menacing. Easy. You know what I mean? Now, there's different parts of it. If I have the gun sitting there and I say, you know what, you better stop being a shitty roommate, there's a gun in the house, and then that person's like, oh, shit, I feel threatened. They're showing me a gun. They're telling me I got to knock off my shenanigans. That's the problem that we're having. You know what I mean?
I do.
Okay, so, and I know, you even said that to me when I was first talking, you were like, I don't remember how you put it, but you're like, hey, if she wants to press charges, I kind of have to eat it, is kind of what you said. Now, is this something I think is going to go all the way through many legal steps and end up with any kind of actual jail time or anything like that? No, I don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. She's probably gonna sue the shit out of me.
Well, that's civil, dude. That has
She's
nothing to do with it.
threatening me with that for like 2 months because I turned off my fucking internet.
Yeah, but okay, that's all civil. It's got nothing to do with the cops.
I know. That's okay.
Yeah. So.
But if the, I mean, she's kind of right though. As much as I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, I'm not here to beat you up about it, man. I mean, I think you know that it was probably a bad decision.
Yeah.
And it's not my place to, you know. Do you want one of them to go with you?
Got it. But I'm going to leave that with you, so I don't have to carry that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You're all set, thanks. Appreciate you holding on with us.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
After the long interview, so I just make sure we're good. We got, just in case that way.
So yeah, dude, I appreciate you being chill. So
I've never
Okay.
been in trouble for something violent like this before. It's crazy.
well, this is listen. So I'm primary on this call, okay? So the way the story gets told is the way that I understand what happened, okay? I'm not looking to make it what it wasn't. I'm not gonna say, yeah, when he got his gun and pointed at her, or he did it. I mean, I think exactly what happened is very, the way the law is written here, yeah, it fits into it. It's something I'm like, oh man, this guy needs to go to jail. He's a violent, dangerous person. No, I don't think that. You know what I mean? But based on her feeling and the gun actually being taken out for a reason, then we do have to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah. So
So what's the statute of that one? Because I did do that.
Right.
You know.
Well, it's called menacing. There is a felony and there's a misdemeanor menacing. No, listen. When a deadly weapon is part of it, it makes it the felony at first. Okay.
Yeah.
But there's one thing to have an arrest like that. Very rarely, if almost never, is that going to end up the way it stays. So there's arresting things. and then you get a DA that reads it and goes, dude, why don't you plead to like disorderly conduct and stay out of trouble for 2 years? And you're like, okay, you know. So today we do have, look, based on what happened today, we do have to arrest you, okay? All right, I'm just being honest with you because you've been cooperative, and I think you'll stay that way.
Yeah, look, man, I'm not trying to fucking make waves, and I understand what I did.
Yeah.
Technically is illegal, so
Yeah.
let's eat that one, buddy. But you know,
All right. So
more than likely trying to spin it as something that it's not, and that's the part that scares the shit out of me right now.
yeah, well, and then, but even based on some of the things you said, man, it's, you know, I can understand her feeling the way she did, you know. So, like I said, I'm not here to lecture you about it. I'm just explaining to you what's going to happen. So, I don't want. I mean, you've been so cooperative. We're about to leave, so I am gonna take you into custody. Okay. So just do me a favor, stand up and turn around.
That means I'm gonna have to stay in jail. Then the DA's gonna.
I'll go through. I'll get your stuff out of your
my bad.
pockets. Just turn around and put your
DA's
hands on.
gonna
You know,
have to
actually, you got to do it up here. Here.
go over
What?
my bad.
Yeah. So just bring this one down. Keep it right there. All right, and then. Oh no, keep your hand up.
My bad.
Look to the left. There you go. So I think I'm gonna hit your hat.
You know,
Oh, these are my backups because I switched with the girl. All right, bring that down. Go. So right now, yeah, you're under arrest for the menacing. Okay.
right.
Get you down there and get you all taken care of, and you can start working on getting out of there. All right.
But that's should be anywhere then.
What's that?
You said it could even be a felony.
What's
Then.
going on here? There we go. Well, no, because I like I explained, because of the deadly weapon being involved,
Yeah.
it is. But
It is a felony.
That's what you're getting booked under. But the ultimate charge is.
the ultimate court thing in the end.
That's for the DA's side. We just don't get that decision right here since it was a firearm.
That makes a lot of sense.
The stuff in your pockets. What do you? They already took it out for you.
Oh, it's my
280 for you.
Oh, he did.
it's my keys, my phone, and my wallet.
What do you want?
Hello.
No, that is it.
John, Steve Kirsten.
Hey, sir, how you doing?
Except my.
That's right, man. Hey, what tipped the scale because we took somebody into custody?
It was his statements. He did say that. He did say, yeah. He's like, yeah. There's this gun. I don't know whose it is. It's always in the basement. I went and got it. Initially, he was saying, you know, I wanted her to know that if she keeps coming in at 4 in the morning, you know, it could be dangerous. I don't know if it's her, and she might get shot. But then he said, yeah, no, I did get it to basically threaten her. Okay, so.
Thank you for that. And then, okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. Good job.
All right, sir. Thanks.
All right, man. Later. Bye.
All right, bye. Hey, do you need to talk to Molly and stuff before we go?
Maybe just for like phone numbers.
That's
and stuff on
fine.
my phone.
Do we have? I was going to go through his pockets.
Yeah, go ahead and go through it. Sorry.
Oh, you want to just do it now? I didn't know if we had a bag. You don't have much, right?
No,
If he
man.
has anything else, honestly. If he does, it's something you forgot that's even in there.
All right. What's taking?
Whose phone numbers do you want, man?
My cousin James, my friend Taylor.
There's James. I see James right there. Is that the James?
Yeah, that's him.
You want all that stuff to stay here?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna stay with her.
Okay.
Well, what use is it in jail, man? Unless you would recommend me keeping some of that.
No, I mean,
There's no
Taylor?
nothing either way. Hold on. It's just really hard to see.
Okay. Holy shit. Doesn't matter at all if that weapon even works.
I'm sorry.
Doesn't matter at all if the weapon works. Like,
Well, no, because the person that
doesn't know it.
they don't know that.
Exactly. Yeah,
Taylor.
okay.
There's only one Taylor in here.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
yeah.
Now, because that, you know, Does that mean that you were actually incapable of using that weapon to shoot them? That's true. Now the problem is this, the law.
threatening part.
The law goes by what they believed, you know. So. The same with cops when people point a BB gun at them and they don't know. It's 10 at night and they end up shooting. The cop thinks, oh, I'm about to get shot. They don't know it's a pellet gun or
Can I get this on record?
Airsoft gun. What?
This lady is just, this very woman has been taken to court and like files pressed for like theft and not like paying this just the basic shit. She's been throwing all kinds of shit out there just to get it to where she doesn't have to pay her bills, but we can't fucking do anything about it, and now we're going broke about this lady that we just can't get out of our house. She's a leech.
Yeah, the entire issue today, man, was the gun. That's it.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say she's a good roommate. She's probably terrible. But
Who else's number do you want?
And Molly's.
I think that's right. I think it is an SKS.
Molly. It's just under Molly, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm getting.
Is that SKS? SKS?
Sure.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I don't.
Norinco? He said Chinese. I'm like, it's an SKS.
Oh.
All right, that's it.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go return her your property there. What's going on?
And if she wants to come out and talk to him before we go in, I'm fine with that. I mean, you can totally chill.
As long as they took care of that.
There's that. Mike, was she coming back out?
She was gonna do whatever we wanted to do. So maybe.
No, as long as they took care of that stuff, I'll just document it. Just let them know. Yeah, they could still have the pamphlet. Well, no, yeah, they still have the pamphlet, but just let your dispatch know that one of our advocates are just coming to the lobby.
Oh, you mind if I just put it in here?
No, dude, have a seat, man.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Not a problem.
Have a good one.
You do that.
Thanks.
Huh?
So, advocate's going to go to the CSU, and then he also had a pamphlet, so that's already taken care of too.
Great, thank you.
You guys need anything else?
No, we're all good. You know, we're just going to see if Cody's been very cooperative, so we don't know if Molly wants to talk to him before we go. So
Felony menacing.
right now.
Okay.
But like I said, that's all based off what this person claims they felt and perceived. And actually there being a deadly weapon involved makes it that, you know.
I mean, okay.
Oh, you know what? This is his clipboard.
Who's?
McTeague's.
Guys?
McTie, I mean.
Don't worry, just hang on to it. Just hang on to it.
Yeah, these are like those 10-cent ones.
Yeah, I need to leave her all of my shit so she can still pay bills at least.
Dude, you're not like going to prison here. We have to book you to jail, and pretty much the first thing they're going to try to do is try to get you out of there, probably.
Yeah, but I have no money. Right.
Yeah, what kind of criminal history? You have anything?
Yeah, I was on probation for hindering secured creditors because when I got out of the military, I drove my car that I couldn't pay for to Texas in order to get there and said, hey, the car's in Texas, come get it. And then since
Oh,
they had to go get the car, it was technically
at least you didn't burn it, right?
the car.
Yeah, everybody in Vegas burns it when they can't pay for it.
No. I said, no, here it is. They came and got it, but it was still a felony
Like, someone
Yes.
stole my 2018 Pathfinder and burned it. Really? You behind on the payments? Yeah, about 5 months.
Yeah.
You have all the keys? Yeah.
At first there was probation, but I had like some crazy PTSD shit going on, so I wanted to keep smoking marijuana on probation in Texas, which is a fucking stupid idea.
Yeah.
So I got him to let me move back to Colorado for time served. It's nothing crazy. I've never been violent.
No.
I don't do anything like that. That's just. I really wish there was some other way to have gotten this woman to understand that you can't treat people like this anymore.
Yeah.
And if only.
Eviction notices go a long way.
What's that?
Eviction notices.
Yeah, they do.
But there was this catch-22, right? Because technically, the landlord can't evict her if all the bills are paid.
Really?
Or something like that. It's in the lease. Like, that's the only thing she's responsible for. Except, her name's not on any bills. Molly's is. Molly doesn't have a job, and I'm supporting her. So, I'm paying for all three of us right now. Me, her, and Vernie. Because Vernie doesn't like to pay bills.
How do you know Varian?
She was introduced to us from a former roommate who was moving out, named Michaela. And she seemed just fine at first, but then, a pattern built up. She couldn't pay her bills. It was always late. She had to pawn all of her phones and laptops and shit in order to make payments. And we're like, hey, we're gonna.
Does she have a job?
She says she has some employment at a video game company, but she says a lot of things. She was also a vet from the French Army. She has a doctorate from Oxford. She is a.
I wouldn't claim I was in the French army, that's for sure. Right?
But she was also, recent transgender, born a man. She honestly, this woman has like identity crisis. She lies about everything, constant.
Yeah.
How much money she makes, where her money comes from. She gets letters from Social Security, but claims that she's not on it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Hey, beautiful. I'm going to jail right now because what I did was technically federal menacing.
No. Not a federal.
Felony menacing.
Yeah. Because it involved a gun.
Yeah.
Yes, that's fine.
Even if it wasn't loaded, it doesn't matter because Vernie doesn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm leaving my wallet and all my shit with you, so
They
you
did
can
me
keep.
your phone, wallet, and keys.
Yeah. So you can keep paying bills and stuff as long as everything's okay. Just I'll call you.
You have my number? You
I
go
do
to
have.
town, you
Yeah.
said,
I-
or
Yeah, my partner wrote down whatever numbers he wanted.
did you get like James's or like?
Yeah, all of them. All the
Right.
ones that I need.
Okay.
Look, I don't know how long it's gonna take for us to figure it out.
Well, they said Monday would be the bond to determine that.
I have to have money for that.
Or
Tuesday, Monday's a holiday.
Oh, yeah, it's Memorial Day.
Monday's Memorial Day, so it's going to be not till Tuesday.
That was
Sorry.
first day of school too, man.
I don't know. Do they do ORs? I don't even know. Do they do recognizance stuff here?
It's up to the jail.
well,
Yeah, I don't
They
know.
change
I'll call
the
you.
policy all the time.
I don't.
I can't keep up.
Me.
need to find out exactly where you're gonna be at.
Yeah.
And but yeah, basically as soon as you find out the bond thing, we'll go off of that, and I'll whatever check I get, I'm just gonna set that aside.
Thank you, dude. I love you, and I gotta go.
Yeah. Can I like kiss
Yeah.
him? Or,
Yeah.
Okay.
Call, text James, then Taylor and all them. Tell them it's going up.
Just via your phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're gonna wonder why I'm just not.
Yeah. Yeah. I will let them know. And
I don't know if this was also explained, but chances are that the judge, when you go see one, or when you finally go see one, chances are the judge might have to put a protection order in place, which means that if
I can't come home.
you won't, and without a civil standby, and you're not going to be able to probably be here. it's just another thing that you should be, it may or may not happen, I don't know.
Okay.
But chances are, since you guys are roommates, I would probably venture a guess that the judge will probably do that. Because of the nature of the crime. So, that's usually like a standard thing. It's almost, it's almost like domestic violence. So it doesn't matter if it, you know, man and woman, guy and guy, girl and girl,
Do I?
doesn't matter when stuff like that.
Thanks, man.
So he's got so Paul's got a victim advocate going over to CSU. They're doing the pamphlet at CSU. You've already took her statement. She's good. He's got the consent form signed, which is in your hand. He has the gun, the booking with no owner.
Huh?
The gun with no owner. Yeah.
Yeah.